Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of St. Clair County RESA, with your host, Chris Troy.
As the 23-24 school year is almost half over, many seniors are thinking about their college goals for next year, and part of that goal is figuring out just how to pay for college. And to help us all this week on Dateline School make some sense of that is St. Clair County RESA's College Access Advisor, Nick Beaudry. Nick, as always, thanks a lot for being with us this week.
Yes, thank you for having me on again.
So it's that time of year again to start thinking about financial aid for those students who are going on to college next year. What's the cost of college been looking like over the last few years? Is it leveling out, or are we seeing increases in it just like we are everything else?
You know, the cost of college, there are some increases, but it's from institution to institution. The cost of college really comes down to your post-secondary education or training that you're looking at is based on what your need is. You know, where do you look to attend, where how long the program is, and where the program's at, whether it's a college in-state, out-of-state, whether it's a community college, a trade school, or a four-year university. So there's a lot of costs. It's really hard to answer that question because each school you look at has a different cost of tuition and then the indirect costs of attending there.
Now, I know there are state and federal scholarship monies out there. Do some universities have money available too?
Yes, so this is a big portion of the planning process for students and families is the affordability of college and accessing all the financial aid and resources and scholarships that are out there. There's different levels. There's state and federal, there's local, there's some in the communities, and then there's some specific just for schools. And so there's a lot of money out there. It's just a part of a process that you got to take yourself and your family down to get to that end game of figuring out which school is the best fit for you financially.
Now, when I was attending school, it was not a well-kept secret that staying at home and going to SC4 was always the best financial point of view when it came to getting your basics done. Is that still the case today?
Yes, SC4 is a great option for students here in St. Clair County or the surrounding counties because it's a community college. Community college cost of tuition is historically less than attending a four-year university when it comes to your prereq classes. SC4 is a tremendous community college, one of the top in our state and in the region. So yes, that is definitely, especially this year of the class of 2024, that is an option that you should be looking at more than ever.
Nick, there's all kinds of financial support out there, but the name that keeps coming back to me all these years has been FAFSA. Tell me, what is FAFSA? Does it stand for something, or what's a little bit of the history of that?
Yeah, the FAFSA comes up a lot. What a fun word to say, but there's a lot behind it for the acronym. So it's a free application for federal student aid. And really what that means historically is it's how you access federal financial aid programs, including grants, loans, work-study opportunities, and then state and local institutional aid. The FAFSA is one of the key components of post-secondary planning and success, whether it is for the class of 2024 or even when I was in high school. It's nothing new. However, this year it's new. There's a new application and there's a new version of it, and there's some updates for this graduating class.
Is FAFSA one of those programs where it doesn't matter where you're going to go to school? It's just a pool of money that you'll have access to?
Yes, it's a universal application for all students throughout the country, the United States, that are whether they're attending SC4, they're going off to a four-year college or university, attending a trade school. It is the universal place in terms of college affordability. Yes, there's institutional aid, there's other options for scholarships and grants that are specific to colleges and universities or states or organizations, but the one universal item for all students and families is the FAFSA.
Okay, we talked about the application process of that, and kind of historically, what's a FAFSA application look like?
Well, it used to be a paper application, but throughout the years, that's changed. It gets new versions every so often, to stay up to date with the changes in the post-secondary landscape. This year more than ever. It's now online, which has happened a few years ago, but now the application, better known as the Better FAFSA for 2024 and 25, has had the most significant updates to the form in decades.
What is the Better FAFSA?
Well, the Better FAFSA otherwise known as a FAFSA for 2024 and 25, has really changed the entire landscape of its application. It's streamlined, it's user-friendly with fewer questions. They expanded the eligibility for federal student aid. There's going to be an increase in Pell Grant eligibility, reduction in verification, and then just the way of actually completing the application has changed as well. But we know that it's a reduction in questions. We know that it's more user-friendly. The IRS data retrieval tool will automatically happen. There's some terms that have changed, such as the EFC, which is the expected family contribution, is now the student aid index. And so all that being said, it's just going to be a new application, but it's the same traditional way for students and families to access federal student aid for their post-secondary education.
Now, the FAFSA is usually available for parents to start filling out in October, but that's a little different now this year, isn't it?
Yes, the last 7 years, the FAFSA launched October 1st here in St. Clair County and across the country. We really promoted and worked with, as soon as that launch happened, complete your FAFSA as soon as possible to increase your chances of maximizing your financial aid packages. However, this year, there has been a delay because of the new application, and it's been an interesting fall. There's been a lot of updates. We got some in the last 24 hours. It will launch on New Year's Eve, December 31st. I believe it's going to happen right before midnight, before the ball drops. And then students and families can start the application January 1st of 2024.
Nick, with the release date being moved back to January 1st, doesn't that put more pressure on parents and universities?
Well, that's a great point, Chris. They're going to open up the FAFSA or launch it January 1st or New Year's Eve, and then students and families can access it. However, we did just receive an update that's very important to understand that the FAFSA will have a soft launch throughout the first few weeks of January. What that means is there's going to be planned pauses where the website's actually going to be shut down, and that's going to cause some interruptions in students and families that are completing the application. They're not going to lose data. They will be able to complete what they're working on, but they're not going to be able to move forward. And then some students and families that try to access the application at that point won't be able to. But that's okay. That's a rolling thing. We're going to work through that. But we have a lot of time this winter to get ready for that application and get it completed.
So that may bring a little concern to some parents and students. How's RESA and locally SC4 kind of addressing to ease that concern of the parents?
Well, we started working on this last year in the winter of 2023. Here at RESA, SC4 with Joe Cassar and her team, our college advising team, the counselors, and really everybody in the state of Michigan and nationally have been working to support our families before this launch and then afterwards. We are releasing before winter break here the Better FAFSA Family Guide from Blue Water College Access Network, talking about the changes, terms to know, and then how to create your FSA ID and a little checklist with that to help students and families over winter break. When we get back, we have a very comprehensive plan with SC4 and Blue Water College Access Network with virtual workshops, lunchtime workshops, financial aid presentations at SC4, which is January 31st at 6:30. So we really are going to pour all of our resources and time from January until March to make sure students and families have everything they need for this new application.
Nick, is there any kind of number someone can call if they have, or a website they can go to if they have questions about the FAFSA changes?
They can always access our BWCAN website, which is bwcan.org. Go to SC4's financial aid website as well that Joe and her team put out there, but also social media.
Well, thanks for your time, Nick. It sounds like you guys are going to have your hands full, but working towards the best efforts for our local students. For Dateline Schools, I'm Chris Troy. Dateline Schools is a presentation of St. Clair County RESA.